His Majesty the Sultan issues 2 royal decrees. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq holds a phone call with the President of the Islamic Republic of Iran to exchange views on several regional and international issues and ways to achieve peace and stability in the region. On behalf of His Majesty, His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Saeed leads the Sultanate of Oman's delegation participating in the first GCC-EU Joint Summit in Brussels. The tender board approved several projects with a total value of over 216 million Omani riyals, including the dual carriageway project for Raisut Al Matsail Road and Izki Nizwa Road. And the second scientific conference of Sultan Qaboos Academy for Police Sciences discussed promoting creativity and innovation to confront current and future security changes and challenges. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq issued 2 royal decrees. Royal Decree number 47/2024 on issuing Bank Deposits Protection Law. Article 1 enacts the provisions of the attached Bank Deposits Protection Law. Article 2, all assets, rights, liabilities and inventory under the Bank Deposits Insurance Scheme Law issued by Royal Decree number 9/95 shall be transferred from institutions licensed under the attached law to Deposit Protection Insurance Fund. Article 3, the Chairman of the Board of Governors of the Central Bank of Oman shall issue the executive regulation of the attached law and the necessary decisions to implement its provisions. Until they are issued, the existing regulations and decision shall continue to be enforced in a manner that does not contravene the provisions of the attached law. Article 4, the Bank Deposits Insurance Scheme Law promulgated by the Royal Decree number 9/95 shall be cancelled. All that contravenes the attached law or contradicts its provision shall be cancelled. Article 5, this royal decree shall be published in the Official Gazette and shall come into force from the date of its issue. Royal Decree number 48/2024 ratifying the agreement between the government of the Sultanate of Oman and the government of the Republic of Uzbekistan on mutual visa exemption for holders of diplomatic, special and service passports. Article 1 ratifies the aforementioned agreement according to the attached format. Article 2, this decree shall be published in the Official Gazette and shall come into effect from the date of its issue. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq held a phone call with His Excellency Dr. Masoud Pezeshkian, President of the Islamic Republic of Iran. During the call, views were exchanged on a number of issues and development in the regional and international arenas, along with ways to achieve peace and stability in the region. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq received a cable of thanks from His Excellency President Xi Jinping of the People's Republic of China in reply to His Majesty's greetings cable on the occasion of his country's National Day. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq also received a cable of thanks from His Excellency President Vahagan Khachaturian of the Republic of Armenia in reply to His Majesty's greetings cable on the occasion of his country's independence anniversary. On behalf of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for International Relations and Cooperation Affairs and Special Representative of His Majesty the Sultan, chaired the Sultanate of Oman's delegation participating in the first joint summit between the Gulf Cooperation Council (GCC) and the European Union in Brussels. The summit discussed to boost cooperation between the GCC countries and the EU in various sectors, especially economic and investment spheres. The summit discussed latest developments in the regional and international arenas, notably the Israeli war on the Gaza Strip and Lebanon, and the Russian-Ukrainian war. His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for International Relations and Cooperation Affairs and Special Representative of His Majesty the Sultan, met this evening with Kyriakos Mitsotakis, Prime Minister of the Hellenic Republic, on the sidelines of His Highness' participation in the first joint summit between the Gulf Cooperation Council and the European Union countries. During the meeting, both sides reviewed matters of mutual interest and means to improve cooperation between the two countries. On the sidelines of the summit, Deputy Prime Minister for International Relations and Cooperation Affairs and Special Representative of His Majesty the Sultan met with Alexander De Croo, Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Belgium. Both sides exchanged views on matters of mutual interest and reviewed means to strengthen cooperation between the two countries. The meeting was chaired by officials from both delegations. His Highness also met with His Excellency Charles Michel, President of the European Council. During the meetings, they reviewed the good bilateral relations, means of cooperation, and ways to develop and enhance them in various fields, in addition to exchanging views on several topics of mutual interest. The topics on the agenda of the Gulf European Summit were also discussed. The meetings were attended by senior officials from both sides. The voting phase has begun to select the topics for discussion at the third Together We Progress Forum, which is organized by the Secretariat General of the Council of Ministers. The forum aims to foster dialogue and raise engagements between the government and society, being a platform for communication with the decision makers through open and live sessions. The forum also aims to show the public governmental policies, development programs and initiatives. The forum gives the floor to public to express their ideas, proposals and feedback to the government officials in an interactive and participatory setting. More than 216 million Omani Riyals is the value of projects awarded and approved by the Tender Board during its fourth meeting this year. The most prominent projects awarded include dual carriageway projects for the Raisut Al-Mughsail Road and the Iski Nizwa Road, and the completion of road projects in Jebel Shams and Jebel Akhdar, in addition to establishing resources markets in the Wilaya of Sinau, protection dams in Wilaya of Liwa, and upgrading Madha Health Center in Madha Hospital. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Dr. Saeed bin Mohammed Al Sakri, Minister of Economy. 20 working papers on innovation in the field of security work were included in the second scientific conference of Sultan Qaboos Academy for Police Sciences in the Wilaya of Nizwa, with the participation of a number of researchers and academics. The conference also included training workshops for members of the Royal Oman Police. The opening of the conference was held under the auspices of His Excellency Sheikh Al-Fadil bin Mohammed Al-Harthi, Secretary General of the Council of Ministers. The trade balance of the Sultanate of Oman recorded a surplus of 4,304 million Omani Riyals by the end of last July. The National Center for Statistics and Information explained that the value of commodity exports amounted to 13,720 million Omani Riyals, while the value of commodity imports amounted to 9,416 million Omani Riyals. This is due to the increase in the value of oil and gas exports to 8,569 million Omani Riyals, while the value of non-oil commodity exports increased to exceed 4 billion Omani Riyals. The 2024 Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists World Congress, one of the largest global gatherings on women's health, kicked off yesterday at the Oman Convention and Exhibition Center. His Excellency Dr. Hilal Ali Al-Sabti, Minister of Health, presided over the opening ceremony. More details in the following report.
The Sultanate of Oman hosted one of the most significant global gatherings in the field of women's health as the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists World Congress 2024 opened at the Oman Convention and Exhibition Center. The event, held for the first time in the Middle East, is a collaboration between the Omani Society of Obstetrics and Gynecology and the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, with a focus on transforming women's healthcare through global collaboration.
There are quite a few topics actually, so we are going to talk about the sustainable development goals and how we reach them, because clearly with all the crises that are happening in women's health, there is a lagging behind of that. We are going to talk about diversity and sexual harassment. We are going to talk about climate change, which is one of the greatest threats to women's health at this point in time, which has been declared by WHO. So how do we each become sustainable? We also have the topic of war and what is happening to women. This is really, really important for us because we stand in solitude with, in solidarity with our people from conflicted areas which are around over here. And we are also concerned about healthcare professionals.
This conference is actually one we do every few years, and we have decided to do it in Oman because we wanted to establish partnerships and strong relationships with the Omani Obstetrics and Gynecology Society. What we're really looking forward is that we improve our relationship between the Middle East, in particular Oman as a leading country in medicine in the Gulf region, together with the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists.
The Congress brought together more than 2,000 healthcare professionals from over 80 countries to address critical issues in women's health through discussions and workshops on key topics such as high-risk pregnancy and maternal medicine.
It's an absolute honour to be in Oman, such a beautiful country and such a fabulous place to host a congress. We have an amazing facility here, and it's not a surprise to me that we have been able to attract so many specialists to come to this area from all over the world, 84 countries. And equally, we're so grateful for the patronage of the Ministers of Health and Heritage and Tourism for their support of this event, which is just such a fabulous World Congress.
This event is very important for all of us in the country, in Oman, and also for all the doctors who are working in the field of obstetric and gynecology worldwide to receive the latest update on this specialty, including all the super specialties on the field, the latest advances, and the latest updates and the protocols and the management for the sake of improving women's health globally.
The event includes over 1,700 scientific posters and 50 companies showcasing the latest technologies in women's health, allowing participants to engage in discussions on emerging trends and innovations designed to revolutionize obstetrics and gynecology practices. Healthcare professionals are setting their sights on the future of women's health, exploring the latest innovations and working together to ensure better outcomes for women worldwide. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, this is Saleh Bakhalfan Al-Rahbi, Muscat.
A delegation from the Saudi Fund for Development, SFD, recently visited the Special Economic Zone in Duqm, CZAD, where members convened with His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Masood Al-Sunaidi, Chairman of the Public Authority for Special Economic Zones and Free Zones, OPAS. During the meeting, the two sides discussed various aspects of cooperation and partnership between SFD and OPAS. The meeting outlined areas of common interest, notably investment opportunities available at the Special Economic Zone in Duqm and other areas under the supervision of OPAS. The meeting also looked into efforts made by OPAS to implement infrastructure projects to facilitate local and foreign investment at the CZAD, which contributed directly to attracting many local and foreign projects and increased interest in Oman's economic zones. Vice Admiral Abdullah bin Khamis al-Raisi, Chief of Staff of the Sultan Armed Forces, received Brigadier General Dr. Mohammed Hadi, head of the Iranian delegation at the Omani-Iranian Joint Military Friendship Committee, and his accompanying military delegation. During the meeting, a number of military issues of common interests were discussed. The Central Bank of Oman organized the 8th workshop on exchange of expertise in the economic modeling and applications. More details in the following report.
The Central Bank of Oman, in collaboration with the Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council (GCC), is hosting the 8th workshop on exchange of expertise in economic modeling and applications during the period of October 16 to 17, 2024 in Muscat. The workshop aims to enhance joint cooperation among GCC countries in economic modeling and its applications. It serves as a leading platform to exchange knowledge and experiences among experts and specialists from various governmental, academic, and research institutions.
It is very critical. One is to have cooperation between the GCC countries in various fields, and specifically on this workshop, it's very important to make sure that we have shared knowledge on predictions, on economic models, because the time is very critical. There are a lot of moving parts. There are a lot of variables that we need to make sure that we are up to date and we share information so that our predictions, our decisions are based on hopefully a solid ground of data and information.
This workshop brings together a number of specialists to discuss the latest developments in the field of economic models, their role in supporting the process of economic and financial policy making, in addition to assessment of economic diversification strategies and the impact of global changes on growth forecasts. In its first day, the workshop features sessions covering several topics such as national visions and economic diversification strategies, climate change policies, and related risks.
The workshop will focus mainly on the development so far as the establishment and the use of various economic models are concerned, as well as it's going to focus on the major challenges so far faced by these models within the GCC countries, as well as at the international era. The workshop also is going to discuss what the opportunities for further enhancement and developments as far as the establishment and the use of the economic models are concerned,
as well as impact of geo-economic risks. Researchers from different GCC countries concerned with global changes and their impact on economic diversification plans will be presenting a number of working papers that aim to enrich scientific discussions, providing in-depth insights around each theme of the workshop. The workshop will conclude with the second batch of research papers on topics such as energy economics and efficiency, financial risk modeling, impact of geopolitical tensions on non-oil exports and trade inflows, as well as green economy, technological innovation, and investment on human capital. Aiming to provide comprehensive and focused research-based results, the papers would highlight a set of recommendations that can support GCC policymakers. It is worth noting that economic modeling is a tool that provides economic policy and decision makers with qualitative data and inputs related to a set of expected outcomes and returns that can be resulted from implementing national plans and policies.
The National Emergency Management Committee announced at the end of the activation of the National Emergency Management Center, sectors and subcommittees in the governorates, while the concerned authorities will continue to restore the affected services according to their competences. Several governorates of the Sultanate of Oman witnessed rainfall of varying intensity as the result of the effects of the tropical condition in the Arabian Sea. The rains covered a number of wilayats in the governorates of Muscat, South and North Al-Sharqiyya, Al-Wusta, South and North Al-Batna, and Al-Dakhliya. Rainfall amounts ranged from 40 to 90 millimeters and led to the flow of a number of wadis and tributaries. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty the Sultan issues 2 royal decrees. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq holds a phone call with the President of the Islamic Republic of Iran to exchange views on several regional and international issues on ways to achieve peace and stability in the region. On behalf of His Majesty the Sultan, His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Saeed leads the Sultanate of Oman's delegation participating in the first GCC-EU Joint Summit in Brussels. The tender board approves several projects with total value of 216 million Omani Riyals, including the dual carriageway projects for Raisout Al Maghsail Road and Iski Nizwa Road. And the second scientific conference of Sultan Qaboos Academy for Police Sciences discusses promoting creativity and innovation to confront current and future security changes and challenges. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the studios and the newsroom, it's good night and stay safe.